This is, and this is, and this is. So, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. In Eastern wisdom, we say that it is a promise to ourselves to evolve and help everyone to evolve. Or you see in a different way that we celebrate an event, any event, birthday, Thanksgiving, marriage anniversary. Not all celebrate marriage anniversary. Is how and why I got married. But anyhow, so we celebrate these events before the event, during the event, and after the event. There is some kind of a pleasure exchange of the gift, and again we forget after a couple of days. So every year we are going to celebrate. The entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is to make my entire life a celebration. That is the goal. Otherwise, the mind is going to repeat the same thing again and again and again. Again and again. Remember this. Keep that promise to yourself that I have to celebrate every moment. How it is possible? Not to be affected by any situation, person, relationship outside. But how it is possible? Real self is independent of everything outside. Your consciousness is independent. And that consciousness is always celebrating the event. Think of this. Keep that in your mind and see how it works in your daily life. Thank you again for supporting me, and special thanks to who are not present, to David and Jerry, who has been supporting since COVID, and to Stephen and to Sam and to everyone, Barbara, Ashok, and everyone. So what we are doing, I have summarized last week that Eastern wisdom is nothing but a self-awareness program. It is not a self-forgetfulness program. Now, I have a lot of problems in my life. I have a lot to blame and complain. This is self-forgetfulness program. See that? So it is a self-awareness program. It is an emotional freedom program, not an emotional dependence program. It is knowledge-oriented program for the discovery of peace and happiness. Did you get it? It's a knowledge-oriented program. Means what? It is not an action-oriented program to discover peace and happiness. Any action that you do, action will come to an end. Any action in life. You're eating, so it has a starting point, it is a finishing point. Meditation practice, it has a starting point, it has a finishing point. Going to the restroom, it has a starting point and a finishing point. So then the next question arises that what to do to be in permanent peace and happiness. So Master says, when you are a seeker, Master says, don't do anything. Peace and happiness are already within you. That is what the knowledge-oriented program is. Did you get it? Where are you sitting? At my home. How long it will take you to reach to your home? I'm already sitting at my home. No action is required. See that? No action is required. So sitting at your home means that I now realize the real self And that real self is constantly emanating peace and happiness in every situation, event, time, location, relationship, and we are there. That is what is mindfulness or meditation 24 by 7. Now, are you clear? Knowledge oriented peace and happiness. Yes, we have to start from action oriented, but gradually we find that that state of celebration continues. Even if you have a pain in the body. Why? I'm not the body. Very clear. You have a clear experience. You take care of the body, but at the same time, the peace, happiness, and the joy are intact. So the master says it is the mind that veils the real self, like the clouds veils the sun. And that veiling is known as the impurity of the mind. So we have two options. There is impurity, there is a purity. The self-awareness program chooses purity. Do you see that? Are you at calmness? Yes, I'm at calmness. Now, suddenly someone knocks the door, your friend, and then you start the gossip and you enter into a conflict. No, no, no. But peace is already there. You choose peace. So when you choose peace, you avoid confrontation, you avoid argument. You say, you are 100% right. Because I love my peace much more than winning an argument. Example. I can give you hundreds of examples. You see? So it means you have not entered into any kind of no, but now you enter into an argument. So what the argument manifests and expresses? Anger, hesitation, duality, conflict. You see that? At every moment we have a choice. We don't make a choice. At every moment in our life, in every situation, in every relationship, we have a choice. Yesterday, I don't know anything about the iPhone, and she has got this. She wanted to. Uh, I said, now I am free after 10:30. So can we go? No, I have to cook the food. I said, very good, cook the food. So I came back to my room. So after 5 minutes, she told me, so I'm ready. I said, okay, I'm also ready. Forget about those small things. Don't care. You choose peace and you choose purity. Ultimately. Now tell me, is it not possible to choose peace or choose purity? It is 100% possible in every situation, in every condition, in every relationship of the life. We don't choose it. So impurity takes over. What is that impurity? I've already told you. Anxiety, aggression, hesitation, winning an argument, emotional dependence. Why? Because I have to keep my mind away from the impurity. It is 100% possible, but it is also not possible because we carry forward millions and trillions of impressions from the past. We lived our life for years and years after. I like you, I love you. After a week, I dislike you, I hate you. No, no, you are a wonderful person and you are a worse person. You are 100% right. I agree with you. But question is, did I ask my mind why you are doing the same thing again and again? Do you see that? Did you understand that? Why don't you ask the mind why you are doing the same thing again and again? Same blame, same complaint. No, I don't want to talk to you. And okay, now the person has gone and you are burning your mind. Do you see? See, check that, reflect that. Self awareness program, emotional freedom program. Why? I have chosen purity. I don't want to choose impurity of the mind. Come what may, whatever the situation is. So you see that I studied psychology, and I told you before also there was a book, almost 600 pages, and the title of the book is Abnormal Psychology, where it contains more than understanding of the 3,000 mental emotional illnesses. Whatever Eastern wisdom says, emotional freedom program. So those 3,000 mental illnesses has been categorized in Eastern wisdom, the root cause, in 6 factors. Maybe I studied that psychology after 20 years ago. Now, if you find the book of abnormal psychology, instead of 3,000, they may have increased the number of diseases. Have they increased the number of treatment? 100% answer is no. So all those illnesses had been categorized into 6 categories. First is the desire. Second is the hesitation or anxiety, aggression or anger. Third is the greed. Fourth is the delusion. Fifth is the envy. Or, or fifth is the pride. Or sixth is the envy or jealousy. Under these 6 categories, 6 factors, you can put any mental or emotional disorders. It is hidden. So when we say the desire, so desire is caused by the likes and dislikes, and by constant thinking, it results into attachment and detachment, emotional dependence that causes the desire. Desire fulfilled greed. Desire remains unfulfilled anxiety and anger. See that? It's such a beautiful way Krishna explains, who is the originator of yoga in Gita. So now, if the desire is constantly and regularly fulfilled, what the mind says, I want more, I want more. That is greed. Look at desire not fulfilled. First, it has a level of anxiety, aggression, anger, and then we may suffer from any symptoms. But if the greed continues, look at this neighbor's, he doesn't have this car, I have this car. It gives you a pride. I'm a self made man. Really? You're a self made man. You made your body. So the pride and the jealousy takes over. So we continue to suffer from this emotional dependence that veils my real self. And that is the reason I have to celebrate Thanksgiving every year. Why don't you choose today that you celebrate today? 24 by 7 today, I will live into that state of celebration so that every day becomes a Thanksgiving. Don't we want that every day, all the time, in all locations? We don't want peace. Do you want peace in the morning, not in the afternoon? No, I peace in the afternoon also. In the evening, yes. With my parents, yes. With my honey, yes. With everyone, yes. In all locations, yes. That piece. That is what I said. Make your entire life a celebration. So these celebrations, our masters might have taught. I don't know the history of too much of history of all the celebrations, but they are the pointer that unnecessarily you are suffering from stress and suffering. Your nature is peace and happiness. You can celebrate your life, make your entire life a celebration. And based on that, I said, I can make a choice, or everyone can make a choice. No, I want to say every human being can make a choice. But that human being has to become a seeker. So when I'm a seeker, I make a choice to the purity of the mind. So simple. No, no, I become angry and then it becomes totally uncontrollable. After all, I also have a pride. I will teach him a lesson or her a lesson unnecessary that is causing the impurity. And that will create a vicious circle. And that prevents the mind to realize the real self. See that? Thanksgiving, making your entire life a celebration, is the message of our masters. So that self-awareness program is nothing but one word that we have been understanding is the discernment. Discernment between the pure and the impure mind, discernment between the real and the unreal, discernment between I being a husband and a man. I'm a man first, husband later. Discernment at every moment in your life. Discernment when I'm suffering. What is suffering? Body, not I am. Discernment is required. Self-awareness. It happens when you raise your level of awareness and you discern. You choose what is right, what is supposed. I must do what is supposed to be done. I should not do what I like to do. And it demands a penetrating eye of a seeker at every moment in your life. You choose, you take the side of the purity of the mind, and you will see a sense of expansion of the mind. From the discernment, you results into emotional freedom. That emotional freedom is dispassion. And the instant result is there because it's a knowledge oriented, you will find the peace and calmness. Otherwise, the raise is, I must teach him a lesson. No, teach your mind a lesson. Teach your mind a lesson. Not to be repeating the same thing, creating a vicious cycle. Vicious cycle of all the six impurities, six factors. And you will discover that you start living. I can tell you, you make two or three experiments. If you are living with your parents or your honey or your kids, you see the other person is insisting, has some sense of pride, some blame and complaint. Stop. Keep silent. Hmm. You see that guy is crazy. Hmm. And maintain your awareness. You will see that the mind expands. We start comparing. There is another way to remember this, that we should remember the goal of life, not the goal in life. Goal in life are the means, and we make the means our goals in life. That causes the problem. How do we understand that? Can wealth, we all know that. Can wealth buy happiness? No. So wealth may be the means to help the outer condition to continue the journey of Eastern wisdom and meditation to discover happiness. So happiness does not come by the wealth. That's why we say wealth cannot buy the happiness. Our mind makes the means as the goals, and that causes a lot of problem. It doesn't mean that we should not earn. You all are supporting me. I'm earning. Making, just imagine and think, I have to make my entire life a celebration. So you participate in Thanksgiving, you participate in marriage anniversary, you participate in birthday, you are already happy, and you are expressing that happiness in every celebration. That was perhaps the goal of those people who created these celebrations in our life. Or Christmas, or we have in India Diwali. Now Diwali is being celebrated even in White House. Are you aware of that, Sam? Diwali is celebrated in the White House also. Obama has started, and so every year it is celebrated. Even the Holi has started being celebrated in. One more point before we go for it. So we have understood the impurity of the mind and the purity of the mind. We know we have to choose the purity. You need not to fight with the impurity. You simply choose purity. Otherwise, you are going to manage your anger for 10 years. It will not be managed. You simply choose peace. Finished. Are you understanding? Anger cannot be managed. Yes, there may be a mismanagement of anger, because the root cause of that anger, my desire is not fulfilled. But the root cause of the desire is my clinging, my emotional dependence to what I want from outside to make me happy. So the root cause of the anger, hesitation is the desire, and the root cause of the desire is my mind is outward moving. It has superimposed peace and happiness on a situation, on a person, on a relationship. So now you are trying to manage the anger. How it is possible? Unless this mind changes its journey from outside to inside. Are you getting it? Very clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask the question. You should be very clear about it. My anger, my anxiety, my hesitation comes from emotional dependence. I'm still seeking peace and happiness where it is not. So, what the mind does, mind superimposes peace and happiness on a person, on an event, at a particular time, in a particular location, and then because peace and happiness are superimposed, it's a false identity. You don't get there, so you are frustrated. You try again, and you keep on trying. That's what makes my life habitual, impulsive. That is what makes our mind impulsive. I started the discussion, and that's a very important discussion, that creation. Yeah, understand that one more point in this session, and then we will extend this further. Let me start by saying that the tiger thousands of years ago were eating flesh, and still they are eating flesh. They don't have any choice. Same thing applies to mosquito, same thing applies to all the living species. They cannot create anything new. I'm coming to a very subtle principle, but very interesting. You will appreciate the wisdom of these masters. So, existence creation has no problem at all. One thing, creation of the existence has a highest level of perfection. Not a single living species can create anything except the human. We can create. So existence has created, has given us milk. We convert, we can create milk into curd, into ice cream, into other recipes. Only we, only as a human being. Tiger cannot do it. Are you understanding that point? I'm just making a very simple thing. Existence created cotton. We created clothes, casual and formal, and the necktie and the tie and the warm clothes. Existence has given me the beard. So we sometimes we shave it, sometimes we create a different pattern of this beard. Do you see that? Check this. Existence creation has no problem. When I create, I marry a girl, now you are my wife. So I created wife. Existence created girl. Do you see that? Existence created clay, we created house. In every activity, you separate what the existence has created, be with it, you are free. You are awakened. And you superimpose your creation on the existence, you are bound to suffer. Use it, check it, use it and check it. Are you getting it? Did you understand that? I will expand it further, but pick up a point. I'm a person who created a teacher in me, you. We created husband, we created wife, we created parents, but all are last point to pay attention. For example, understand, I created, so called, I have a daughter, so use this. I created a daughter. So, daughter and father relationship. Then the same father, don't feel bad, but this is a fact. The same father is worried about the marriage. Marriage means now I'm searching a person to marry my daughter for pleasure. So there are two roles of the daughter. Do you see that? For me, she is the daughter, she is the same girl, but for her husband, that is what the mind starts working in the world with a heavy conditioning, with the impulsive and habitual nature, is the cause of all the suffering. You recognize, you find the cause, the what you have created is causing the problem. Can you fight with me? Yes, no. Well, is it okay? Stop attending this session, but can you fight with your wife or husband? Yes. Their parents, yes. But first, you created them, those labels, and then you are ready. Those labels. So you start working with the label, but otherwise, we are man and women. That is what the existence created us. Do you see that? So when you separate the two, why to say what is that separation means? Do you remember? Self-awareness program. That is self-awareness. With that self-awareness program comes the emotional freedom. With that emotional freedom, because now you have the right knowledge, the mind is not impure. You already have a peace and happiness that comes from manifest from inside. So did I? Do you still remember knowledge oriented peace and happiness, not action oriented peace and happiness? I fought with you, so I'll go home and then I'll practice meditation. I'll be happy. You will never be happy. Come on, unless you remove that impurity. Let us close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and position of the body, awareness, position of the body. How fast we are settled. I have started using, you see, the gradual progress, step by step, with an understanding. How fast we are settled. Settled means I am settled inside the body. I'm not blaming and complaining the body, not moving the body. But it doesn't mean that you have a discomfort and you are still, there is no struggle. And then we move to being comfortable. You are settled in that comfort. Behind and beyond the current state of the mind. Creation by the mind is always discomfort. When you are relaxed and calm, we forget, we don't, we don't acknowledge, we don't appreciate the creation of the existence. But when we are in discomfort, unease, we fight with everyone to be in peace, and that is not the way. That is why being comfortable, looking at the neck joint, being there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shoulder joints being there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body and all the joints. All the joints, and are you settled in the comfort? You will feel the sensation without doing anything. Normally people say that, when I did the breathing practice, I feel good. Why don't you feel good now? What happened to you? And then be carefree, free from all the cares of the mind. And I have been repeating it again and again, my friends. What do you mean by carefree? Who cares me? The mind. How the mind cares me? By its own creation. Now, what is that creation now? My eyes are closed. No, my creation is that I feel discomfort. I feel a different sensation at this time. No, get rid of that. False creation. You don't know I have been suffering from the stress for the last 10 years. It's a creation by the mind, by the thinking. So that is why being carefree. What do you mean by being carefree? Thoughts are coming and going. You are separate from the thought. Self awareness program. So we move to the second level. We want to be emotionally free while being attached. Not possible. First, the self awareness program. Second is natural state, emotional freedom. All the thoughts are coming, going. Witness, I'm a seer. I'm separate from it. Finished. But still, the past impressions, they do not go so easily. Now, understand, we are doing this three types of the breathing in order to remove those impressions. And because of those impressions, mind says, I can never get out of this stress and suffering. I cannot remove my ignorance. It is coming from the past impression. So, looking deep inside the forehead in the space, dropping gently, Om Shanti. Then you see the space and Om Shanti. Become aware of the steadiness in the body and start breathing quick and short breath from the chest. Expansion and contraction of the chest continues. Only the chest expands and contracts in the state of comfort in the body. Dropping Om Shanti. Continue, my friends. Don't fight with the breath. Don't be angry with the breath. Don't be excited with it. Am I conveying the message to you correctly? Definitely, you are doing quick and short breathing into the chest, expansion and contraction of the chest. But the mind is dropping Om Shanti means you are already in the state of calmness. So you are working on the unknown areas of the mind. That is needs to be understood. Continue. And stop it. One more point, we are becoming clear of doing these practices, active practices. And any active practice is a start and finishing point. I cannot do these style breathings 24 by 7 if it gives me peace and happiness. No doubt it gives me the calmness, peace, and but what is our goal? To remove those unknown areas where these impressions, emotional dependence, and its thoughts are accumulated. Keep on doing Om Shanti inside the forehead. And the second breathing, let us start breathing into the belly. When you inhale, the belly goes out. When you exhale, the belly goes in. But it's a little longer breath, and the speed is also maintained. Little longer than the chest breathing. It's a belly breathing, but pay attention. So you are hitting the center of the greed we discussed. We will talk in detail. We'll understand it. That's how it works. So when you're doing with the belly, you are hitting those impressions of the greed expressed impulsively, losing our self awareness. So we are returning to the self awareness program. Continue. You may find different sensations, just acknowledge, accept. Continue. Your mind will say no. So pick up the point. Which mind is saying no and why it is saying no. Bring that mind into the self awareness program. I believe you are understanding that. And stop it. Do nothing. Just continue with the Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. You know, the survival center is of an extreme impulsive desires. That is the first center, the lowest center around the base of the spine. The second center is the center of the greed. You know, when we talk of kundalini and different states of the consciousness, third is the center of frustration. So when we take our mind above the three centers, and that is what we are going to now keep your focus deep inside the forehead. It's the center of the knowledge. Now, long in the hissing breath, both from the belly and the chest. One breath first goes into the belly, expand your chest and belly. Exhale, belly and the chest. Pay attention. You expand belly first, then follows the chest. You contract belly first and then the chest. That is how the breath goes into the belly and the chest and comes out of the belly and the chest. You will find it a tremendous sensation all around your head and also into the whole body. Because we keep on doing the Om Shanti, keeping our focus deep inside the forehead, so that prana, that energy that is locked up by the lower three centers, causing the impurity of the mind, becomes free. So there is a sudden upsurge of energy, the same energy. That gives you an experience of extreme sensation, energy in and around the head. Let there be. That is what I'm expecting. Disclaimer, if you have any challenges of blood pressure and heart issues, then you have to relearn again. Pay attention. Self awareness program means you don't forget belly, chest, belly, chest. It's not a self forgetfulness program. That is very important. I know you are understanding. and stop this. When you stop, start breathing deep, silent, and slow. This time, when I say deep, you are fully aware it's a deep. Silent. It is slow. Why it is slow? To raise your level of mental awareness. We can still raise our awareness when the breath goes in. If you move your mind from the crown of the head into the spine, reaching tailbone during inhalation, and during exhalation, the mind rises from the tailbone, reaching to the crown of the head, and adding the singing part of Om Shanti. So when during inhalation you say Om Shanti, so that Shanti ends at the tailbone. During exhalation, Shanti ends at the crown of the head. Where you will experience a total absorption. We have already released the energy that was limited by our impurities of the mind, which I explained as 6 factors. Now, energy is not there. What you have to do with the greed and anger and hesitation. You have taken the energy, and energy is just living in the heart center. Yeah, but it should be deep, silent, slow. Slow, you are aware. Silent, you are aware. Deep, you are aware. Silent, you are aware. Slow, you are aware. To drive a car at the speed of 100 miles demands a different level of excitement. But when you want to drive so slow, it demands your awareness. It does not demand your excitement. Can you say that I'm excited to drive the car slowly? Look at it. So that excitement comes from energy. Excitement always moves in the direction of the impurity of the mind. That is why we have a deep, silent, and slow, my friends. Shanti. So I told you, Om Shanti, you are singing out of your emotion. You don't say anyone, I love you. With that emotion, with a feeling, with an expression, energy is the same. Mind is pure or impure. So we're showing the path to the mind, what it means by the purity of the mind. So all has to play a role. Om Shanti has to play a role. Moving the mind in the spine has a role. Deep silence, slow breath has a role. And stop this. What did you stop? The long Om Shanti and the deep silent and slow breath. So now we are coming to the knowledge oriented steps. What is that step? You look inside the heart triangle, moving, pointing upward. Each side you look, you perceive, and drop Om Shanti. It is semi active. I won't say totally passive. So, second side, Om Shanti, third, so move the mind on a triangle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And once you see and feel that the mind is naturally focused and it keeps on moving on a triangle, that is the right time to go at the center of the triangle, moving the mind with a long Om mentally, as if you are pushing the mind deep inside. When the mind seems to stop, you drop Shanti. So you're consciously moving into the state of so called the self absorption. Normally, in other activities of our liking, we are also self absorbed. That very I is lost. So here we are consciously experiencing the I created by the mind is lost. Well, if any thought comes, I is there. We return again to Om Shanti. Om Shanti. You continue your journey, and once you find there is a sense of self absorption, you are already into that state. So you are simply, it's knowledge oriented. You are aware at the peak. You recognize, you experience that calmness and peace and the joy inside. Yes, it will manifest outside also.
So really good. It's very deep. It's kind mind has accepted that there cannot be an objective solution for my problems. So there cannot be any action which can solve this problem. It's only a subjective understanding that can help us. So
You're perfectly right. There is no objective peace, happiness. It is always subjective. When we start searching peace and happiness outside in event and situation in things, including Thanksgiving celebration today, whether you don't eat turkey or you eat five turkey, the peace is not there. Oh, Thanksgiving, Sam, we eat turkey. Oh, yes, yes. So how do you, Stephen? Yeah.
Good. Thank you. It was a very quiet, deep experience. Just a fluctuation in body temperatures throughout the different breathing, but settled very deep within my heart center and was there the entire time. So, thank you.
Beautiful. Centered in the heart center. That's also pointing. The mind naturally moves to the heart center. One master says symbolically, don't take it as literally. It says that deep inside the heart there is a that real self is of the shape of a thumb flame. But flame does not mean there is a fire inside. That flame has to do with your consciousness. It's a flame of awareness. It's a flame of consciousness. Beautiful. How are you, Ashok?
Good, sir.
Good.
Relax and peace.
Relax and peace. Beautiful. How are you, Sam?
Good. The breathing was very rewarding in the sense that it brought just a pure blank deep space after it.
Beautiful. So if it is rewarding, reward yourself anytime, when, complete the sentence. Maybe you can do 3 times, 4 times the practice. No, let me do it. Don't leave it. Dad, I'll talk to you later. First, let me do the practice. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत absorbed था एकदम.
Ah, it was good and absorbed. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. It was a very deep meditation for me as well. And it was really strange because I was very cold at the beginning of the meditation. And then when we got to the slow and deeper breathing, I still felt the cold on my skin, but inside I was very warm. And it was kind of the separation between the outside world and the inside world.
Yes, yes. Because the mind has to work differently, unknown to it. So when we feel heat, sensation, warmth, or coolness, we just acknowledge, accept it, and continue the journey. So that results into a discernment that, I feel the coolness on the skin, but inside it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
Self-awareness program. How are you, Samir?
Sir, today there was a lot of sensation in my backbone when I was doing this deep breathing. The breath was going inside my backbone and coming out of it. Lot of sensation was there. And it was very, means I was totally into it. Means I didn't feel like coming out of all these things.
Very good. Your kundalini is awakened now. You can declare to your honey, my kundalini is awakened. She will say that I'm your kundalini, who is the second kundalini. Don't you dare. No, definitely there are some energy. That's a joke apart. There are some energy that, no, I told you that, what is that? The energy which is known as the prana, because of the desire and these 6 impure factors are clogged into the lower center, are relieved. So then we feel an extreme sensation around the spinals. But I don't feel it. It means I have to do a lot of practice. Don't compare. Your life is different. Your thought and your life, your birth, your upbringing, everything is different. So everyone has a different path altogether. So that's why we share our experiences. So promise to yourself, now we are going to celebrate the Thanksgiving, especially because, in India, they are not going to celebrate. So Sam, Stephen, and Barbara, check that you are able to maintain that peace and calmness during the entirety. You don't miss even for a single second. That is all for today. Thank you. We will meet on Saturday.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Day.
Yeah, thank you.